You know, there's a test you take almost every single day. You don't study for it, you don't really prepare, but your entire digital life, we're talking everything from your email to your bank account, it all depends on you passing it. It's become such a reflex, we barely even notice it anymore. But today, we're going to take a much closer look at that test. Ah, there it is. That simple, almost polite command, verify you are human. We've all done it a million times. We click a box, maybe pick out a few traffic lights, and then we just move on without a second thought. But what is actually happening in that moment? What are we really proving? So this little prompt, it's so much more than just a security check. Think of it like this. It's the invisible doorway to almost everything we do online. It's the gatekeeper, right? The one standing between you and your inbox, your money, or even just reading the news. And it is a truly universal experience. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in Tokyo or Toronto, you have performed this digital handshake. It's the internet's way of kind of looking you in the eye and asking one single fundamental question. Hey, are you a person? Okay, but why all the suspicion? Why can't the internet just take our word for it? Well, it's because the internet isn't just for people. There's a constant, invisible war being fought every second of every day against these automated programs, which we all know as bots. See, the internet is basically a space of two completely different intentions. On one hand, you've got us. We're here to connect, to learn, to shop. But on the other hand, you have bots, and they're designed to do things like overwhelm websites, steal data, and just generally cause chaos. That simple verification test, that's the frontline defense in this whole digital conflict. So how do you do it? How do you separate the humans from the bots? How do you design a question that a person finds incredibly simple, but a machine finds, well, almost impossible? This is where the logic gets really, really clever, because it's not just about security, it's also about work. The core idea is all about exploiting the gap between human and machine intelligence. You see, reading some wavy text or picking out objects in a messy photo, that's trivial for our pattern-recognizing brains. But for a computer, it's a huge challenge. And here's the wild part. For years, every time you solved one of these, you weren't just proving you were human. You were actually helping to digitize old books and label images to train AI. You were, without even knowing it, doing work. But this created a pretty big problem. The more data we labeled for them, the smarter the machines became. And that kicked off a full-blown technological arms race, a constant cat and mouse game between the people making the tests and the bots designed to break them. It all started with those distorted words, right? The ones pulled from old books that computers couldn't read. The first CAPTCHAs were just a brilliant way to digitize library archives while also securing websites. The first line of defense was drawn right there. But almost immediately, bot makers developed some pretty sophisticated software that could actually figure out the text. They learned to read. And just like that, the defense was breached. Okay, so the test makers shifted gears. They moved on to images. You know the ones. Click on all the storefronts, select all the crosswalks. The task became way more abstract, relying on real-world context that only we should have. And in the process, we all unknowingly helped label the visual data that was needed to power huge projects, like self-driving cars. And then, inevitably, fueled by the very data we were giving them, the bots got even smarter. Using these powerful machine learning models, they learned to see. So today, the most advanced tests don't even ask you a question. Nope, they just watch how you move your mouse, judging the subtle, imperfect, very human motions you make. This whole relentless race, it leads us to a really fascinating and maybe slightly unsettling place. The tests have become so hard that sometimes we humans can't even pass them, while the bots just get better and better every single day. So what happens when that line finally crosses? What happens when the bots just can't be beaten anymore? And this brings us to the final, really profound question. That simple prompt we started with, verify you are human, it suddenly becomes a much deeper philosophical problem. I mean, if an AI can perfectly imitate our digital behavior, passing every single test we can possibly design, then what are we even proving when we click that box? In a world where machines can act just like us, maybe the test isn't for them anymore. Maybe it's for us. Just a little reminder of a distinction that is, quite frankly, rapidly disappearing.